Alrighty, everybody. It is currently Sunday, April 20th, 2025. Happy Easter, everyone. He is risen. He's back. He's back from the dead. He went out for a few days there. You know what I mean? Like Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas got knocked down, but you know what he did? He got back up and he kept fighting. All right, for his mama. All right, that's what Jesus did. Thought about Mary, and you know, he came up from the dead like the fucking Undertaker, just boom, rolled that stone out of the way. I don't remember what he did after that. I think we maybe got to talk about that more because everyone knows he is risen. He rose from the dead, but I don't really remember what he did afterwards. I know at some point him and his like whole body went up to heaven, and I do have a question about that. Was it like a teleportation thing, like that guy from fucking the boys? That guy, like, he can't be wearing clothes and shit when he goes invisible, right? Because then you can see him, like, when Jesus went up to heaven, did he have to, like, was he naked? Did they get a view of the dong? The holy dong? Did they get a view of it? I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I am unfortunately, I might be sick right now. I'm either sick or I have allergies. And I do maintain that allergies are for the weak of mind, all right? I'm not going back on that ever. That's not going to happen. You're not going to catch me doing that. And so I'll maintain that position till the day I die. But I do believe that allergies are for the weak of mind. And the reason I'm thinking I'm sick is because my mind is moving just so slow right now. And same with my body. And, you know, the assholes out there are going to be like, well, your mind and your body move slow every day because you're a fat dum-dum. And yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. But being sick is the worst. It's worse than, I'd say, terminal cancer. Because at least if you have terminal cancer, you can kind of do whatever you want. You know, like if you have terminal cancer, you can be like, have the nurse come in. Like if I had terminal cancer, I'd probably pretend to like die every day. Like I'd unplug all my machines and shit and just like lay on the bed. Like I got shot or hit by a car or something, just sprawled the fuck out. You know? And I have the nurses come in and they would like rush over my body. And a nice big plump Latina nurse and a nice, you know, real fat black nurse and a nice hog nurse as well rushing in. Small Filipino nurse, and I just go, you know, just around the buffet, get a taste of everything. Get a taste of all the titties, dude. A nice titty taste. Titty sample. That's what I'd be doing if I had terminal cancer, you know? And then it's like, what are they going to do? They're going to send you to jail. I'm basically already in a jail anyway. I can't leave this bed. I have terminal fucking cancer, right? So it's like, you send me to jail. I'm just going to be right back here, just sitting in this bed. And it's worse than jail anyway. It's like, at least in jail, you can get up. I mean, there's more fucking going on in jail than there is in a hospital, I bet. Not in an old folks home. In an old folks home, there's definitely more fucking than there is in jail. But like in just a regular old hospital, just fucking IVs and, I don't know, medical dramas and shit, like nurses making out in the you know, every once in a while you'll have like a doctor fucking nurse and then he'll like cry about it because he cheated on his wife and then he'll kill a guy on like the operating table. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of fucking going on in, you know, a hospital. It's just most of the people there are so sick anyway that they can't fuck. Which brings me to my next point, which is jacking off while sick. Because here's the thing about me being sick is I don't go halfway with it, right? If I'm getting sick as fuck. I'm getting so sick, I'm like standing up and I'm shaking. I'm like, ugh. I need an iron lung. That's how fucking sick I am. Like I'll get a common cold and it's worse than polio to me. Like I could probably chant polio, but a common cold, just like, oh, your muscles are always aching, you're shaking all the time and shit. Oh, and those cold fucking mornings, fuck that. But like, you know, but jacking off when you're sick is either, because I get so sick, I'm either not jacking off, or if I do, it's like it's like the worst jack off experience of my life. Like I'm sweating and I'm cold at the same time. I'm like putting a blanket over me, then not putting a blanket over me. And it's just like you're so you're so horny. You're just like, I need this out of me. I need this out of me. I just need it to leave me, please, for the love of God. And that's probably why they don't do like Make-A-Wishes for people over the age of 18, because they'd all be like, blowjob from Megan Fox. Like immediate. Even a lot of those kids that are like 13, 14, like I don't know when it cuts off. I think it cuts off at 18. But like any one of those kids that's like 13 or older, like male or female, is probably like, yo, I need some pussy right now. You know what I mean? They're probably like, get Sydney Sweeney in here. I just want just one taste. I just want to see the nips. Honestly, at this point, I just want to see the nips. We saw them in Euphoria, but that was when she was like 22 years old. I want to see if they're still holding up. Like that would be my Make-A-Wish. And she probably grant it. Like That's like kind of Sydney Sweeney. Like her PR team's got it down. Like whatever you want to say about it, her PR team's like got that shit down. Like that dumb. They just like studied Shane Gillis and they were like, how do we make this guy's dream about like a dumb blonde slut come true? And that's what they did. And she's taken over America, and you have to applaud her for that. But like I said, it's all fake. Go back and listen to the old episode, dude. I went on a 20-minute indecipherable rant about how Sydney Sweeney's relationship is fake. And speaking of that too, I know in a previous episode I said I would like cook up my own conspiracy theory. We kind of did that today. Not really, but I did cook up like my own little plan. Like I did some research into a thing and I cooked up a plan. Obviously, I don't know why I'm like trying to hide it, trying to be sneaky, trying to be like coy about it. What could I possibly be the name? What I'm talking about is in the episode of the name. It's How to Rob a Bank. And I just want to say to the FBI, if you're listening, and I know that you are, all that research I was doing about like bank statistics and looking up like bank vaults and how they work and stuff, that was for a podcast episode. Which is maybe even worse in their minds. Like they don't want people doing, they especially don't want like middle class white guys doing podcasts. Like that's like their worst fucking nightmare. They want middle class white guys like signing up for the Marines. They don't want us like out here trying to get like attention and shit, being like, oh, that's so funny, right, guys? No, they want us like dying on like the front lines of, I don't know, Korea or wherever we're going next. Ukraine, Israel, one of those fun places. I've always wanted. If you know me, I've always wanted to visit Israel for a very different reason than defending it. Maybe like the opposite of defending it. But I've always wanted to go there. So look, to the FBI, to the government intelligence agencies that are listening to this, I'll go to fucking Israel, but I'm probably gonna commit a few war crimes and not against the people you want me to. It's always been my wish. And I wonder if I do sound if like my nose is more stuffy than usual, because when I talk on this podcast for a long time, I usually do get a stuffy nose of some kind. So I don't know if it's less stuffy than usual. Maybe I got like a little bit of sexy voice going on. Hey, ladies, how's it going? How you doing out there? I don't know. No, it's not sexy voice. It's like gravelly. It's like fucking public announcer on a train voice, just like, you know, I got a bit of caveman voice going on. I got a bit of Cro-Magnon voice going on right now. But today's episode is How to Rob a Bank. And I did so much fucking like research into this. Usually I just like, I'll read a Wikipedia article and like, cross-examine the information I'm given. I'm basically a lawyer. I'm basically a high-level lawyer, and I'll like I'll like I'll like read something on Wikipedia, and then I'll go read another account of it to like get a better idea of it. Usually, like that's how I'll do it. But with this episode, I was just jumping around to a bunch of places, and I'm gonna be honest. Like the first probably half of this episode is just gonna be me reading statistics, which is maybe going to be more enjoyable than usual, because usually it's me like trying to poorly tell a story and then I'm like, wait, and then this happened. Oh, wait, no, that happened before this, and then that happened. Like usually that's what this is. So I think this might be a more enjoyable episode. But we're going to do How to Rob a Bank, and then I'm going to use all the information I learned. I did kind of plan out my own bank heist, and I feel like I can't be the only one that's ever done this. Like in my head, like I'll just think about like, these motherfuckers are always getting caught. Like how would I rob a bank? How would I like commit a crime like that and just not get caught? Like I feel like, because as we'll get to in the episode, a lot of the reason they get caught is just because someone in the crew is like very stupid, or just like greedy as fuck, just like generally bad at life. And that's probably how you end up robbing a bank in the first place, is just kind of being like bad at life. And so you can't blame them for also just, it's like you get someone who's bad at life to like rob a bank for it. Like he's so bad at life that just some random guy coming up to him being like, you want to fucking drive a 2004 Ford Taurus while we rob this bank? Like a guy like that, he's not going to be making wise financial decisions, wise social decisions after he robs a bank. And that's the reason a lot of these guys get caught. So I got to it's important to get a solid crew is what I'm saying. But like, I've like thought about this before. I'm like, I'd bleach the fingerprint. I have no idea how fingerprints, literally zero idea how fingerprints work. I'm like, I'd bleach the fingerprints. I'd probably use a toothbrush to scrub them away, because a toothbrush is going to be more abrasive. It's just complete. No, I have no idea how it works. Literally zero idea how it works. But I have seen Heat more than once, and if you've seen that movie, then not that's not the best plan to follow. I have seen The Town with Ben Affleck a few times. And so, speaking of which, if the FBI, if you're listening to this, and once again, I know that you are the NSA, whoever. Thanks for listening, by the way. Thanks for thanks for giving me the streams. Make sure to rate the podcast 5 out of 5 and leave a comment down below about your rank and position and some of the black ops you've conducted in Liberia or Sierra Leone or whatever. But if you want to get me in trouble for giving a step-by-step instruction on how to rob a bank or how would I do it, maybe you're thankful that I'm giving my my idea of how to rob a bank because it's just so awful that it's like anyone that like would try to execute this plan would immediately get caught. Maybe it's that type of thing. But either way, make sure to like and subscribe. And what I was gonna say is that like Ben Affleck should also be on trial, and that would be pretty sick if I got to meet Ben Affleck and go on trial with him. So, if you're gonna put me on trial, call up Ben Affleck too. Always wanted to meet the guy. He's probably got some good pussy getting advice, like how to keep a bitch in line. I feel like he's pretty decent at that. Like Jennifer Lopez, that bitch was probably going crazy, and then Ben Affleck put her. She's still fucking crazy, but Ben Affleck probably, a little bit of the Boston in him came out, and he put her in line. So I would like to meet Ben Affleck if you're gonna put me put me on trial for giving a step-by-step instruction on how to rob a bank. But I guess we're just gonna get into it now. Talk about robbing banks. I did use a little bit of information from the Town, which is a great fucking movie, by the way, about like how to rob a bank. That that was like 90% of how I cooked up this plan. But stats to note: the average bank robbery only results in a yield of about $4,200, which isn't a lot, especially because you got to get that like laundered too, and you gotta. Another thing that gets a lot of bank robbers caught is they don't ask for loose cash. You want to ask for loose cash because if the cash is like in bundles and shit, then they'll hide like those dye packs, like those things that like spray that ink all over you that you can't get off, and that like they can see it even under fluorescent lights or fluorescent lights, however the fuck you say it, but like they have those dye packs in them that are like impossible to get off you, and they also have like tracking devices. So that's another way you're gonna get caught. And another reason that it only ends up with about $4,200 is because a lot of bank vaults are like they can only be opened at certain times or whatever. Like they lock automatically, like shit like that. And so you're really only getting cash out of the drawers, and you're not getting like it's not all hundreds. It's probably mostly 20s that you're dealing with, which might be a good thing because I don't think I want to say that like all hundreds are like a high percentage of them. Their serial numbers are like in a database somewhere. So if you use them, sooner or later, someone's gonna run that thing through a machine and it's gonna come back. Like the FBI is gonna show up and they're gonna fucking fuck you up. So you might want to ask for just like 20s and like 50s and shit like that. Get some who's on the 20 Andrew Jackson, some Andrew Jacksons and some Ulysses S. Grants, which by the way, sicker than Benjamin Franklin. Like, I did a few episodes on Benjamin Franklin, very sick life, but he never was a president because he because he said Germans are worse than Anglos, so he never was president. But you're probably gonna get a lot of Ulysses, a lot of Jacksons in there, and make sure you ask for loose cash, and you have to launder it too. So you're probably losing. It's probably like $3,000. So even if you did one like every month, you'd be below the poverty line still. So, but the average bank robbery is only $4,200, and I'll get into that why that's true a little bit later. But there's an 80% chance you get away with the robbery in the moment. So there's an 80% chance that you get out, you drive away, and you fucking make it. And that 20% that gets caught, you got to be real fucking stupid. You got to be robbing a bank that's like right across the street from from a fucking police station. And I think that's what the North Hollywood guys did. If you don't know, look up the North Hollywood shootout. That's what Heat is based off of. It's fucking insane, dude. There's like this guy, like he made like a homemade juggernaut suit out of like he had like a suit of armor and like a fucking machine gun, and he was trying to like shoot down helicopters and shit because these fucking morons robbed the bank like right where a bunch of fucking police cars were. And I think they tried to take hostages and shit, just like a dude in like that homemade bear suit. If you've ever seen that bear suit guy who like made a suit that was like impenetrable by grizzly bears, look up this shit, dude. It's so fucking funny. But this guy made a suit and he was like, this suit's gonna be impenetrable to grizzly bears, dude. Like if this guy was still alive, he'd be on Joe Rogan's podcast fucking yesterday. And there's this video of it, like he's standing on a hill and he just like tilts forward and just like falls down the hill, just like I know in that suit he was still like, oh, ooh, ooh," like full on grape lady down that hill. And another thing is that they strapped a mattress to a front of a car, like some old shitty, like beat up, like some old car company that doesn't even exist anymore, like Mercury or whatever. And they hit him with this fucking car, and he survived. I don't think he had any broken bones from any of this. But anyway, the North Hollywood shootout guy, he fucking had one of those things. But and that's not what you want to go with the plan, because if you we'll get into it a little bit, if you kill anyone, it's game over. And that's true of like everything in life. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's if you fucking work in like an office or whatever and you kill someone, it's still game over. So I would recommend that's like a general rule for life. I think the Bible maybe says something about it. I don't know. I haven't read that shit. That shit is boring as fuck. But I do think it says something about about not killing people as a general rule in life. But there is an 80% chance you get away with it in the moment. But overall, there's a 60% chance that you're arrested for the robbery. So it's more likely than not that you're going to be arrested for the robbery. And statistically speaking, if you get away with one, don't do another one, right? Because 60 plus 60, that's a 120% chance you get caught. I don't know if that's how statistics work. I am in the statistics class right now, but like over half of the class at this point has been online, so I'm not I have no idea how statistics works. But I think if you do it once and you get away with it, maybe call it quits from there. You know, take your $4,200, buy a used car, buy a 2004 Ford Taurus. I love that car, by the way, greatest car ever made. But buy one of those and just chill out a little bit. You know, go back home to your fat fucking bitchin' wife and your annoying kids and just chill out a little bit. Or if you fucking hate your bitchin' wife and your fucking annoying ass kids, go for another. Hey, fuck it. At this point, either you get so rich that you can ditch them and never have to talk to them again, go to Costa Rica or Belize or whatever, or you end up in jail and then you don't have to deal with them ever again. But single person robberies have the highest rate of failure, and I think it was like 33%. But they do have the lowest rate of like injuring someone, which is the last thing you want to do in a bank robbery. The last thing you want to do is like, you know, fuck someone up or like take a hostage or whatever, because then they're gonna throw the book at you, get you in jail, 25 years, and it is a federal crime, by the way, to rob a bank. Any bank robbery is a federal crime. I don't know how that worked. The Jays were like, all right, dude, they're robbing these inbred white trash Americans. They keep robbing us, dude. The Jays were like, FBI, fucking get on this. You know what I mean? So they do have the highest rate of failure. And the vast majority of robberies use a note, intimidation with a weapon, or oral demands in their robberies. So, in the vast majority, even of that, like the majority of those three things, is they just use a note. And I was reading this, I think this was on like the Department of Justice or something, and they were saying that like a lot of people that are like part of a bank robbery or that are like in the bank during a robbery don't even know, because a guy just like slips a note under the thing and is like, give me give me 4,200, dude, please, I need 4,200 right now. And that is like, it is a very low amount, and like the bank won't even care. Like, it might even be better to get a job at a bank and just like steal $4,200 every day. Like that might be the move over robbing the bank. But like, yeah, they just like slip a note and just are like, give me all the money you have. And like, bank employees are taught the whole point of this is to like minimize casualties, minimize damage. So they're just like, yeah, I'll give you $4,200, dude. It's not that deep. We take more money than that from like old people who are like just trying to survive. Like, we give old people loans with 100% interest rates every $4,200. That's nothing to us. And so the people who work at the bank are taught, just give them the fucking money and let them leave. And the good thing about that is it's not there's no violence involved in it at all. And so you're not going to get in too much trouble. You're going to get a decent amount of trouble for that one, stealing that 4,200, but not the most amount of trouble. And same with oral demands. If you're just like, yo, give me all the fucking money you have, they'll give you can just do that. You don't even have to, like, if you're just feeling a little extra froggy one day, you're like, fucking my boss is on my goddamn ass, dude. I just need $3,000 right now. You can just go up and be like, give me $3,000. Like, it's just basically an automatic ATM. And as long as you get away with it, as long as maybe you do a little bit of planning, just a touch of planning, you're probably going to be able to get away with that and like chill for a little bit. If you're just like, just give me $3,000. I just want $3,000. Give it to me right now. But the thing about that is you're probably not going to be wearing a mask, because if you walk in with a mask, instantly everyone's going to be like, oh fuck, get on the ground, he's robbing the It's gonna be it's gonna be like that. So I don't know. It's a half cock plan, and they do get caught the most as well. I think it's like single robbers who just come in and use it. No, but an interesting fact I learned is that if the amount stolen is less than $100, then the maximum sentence is only 1 year, and that's 1 year in a federal prison, which is, from what I've heard, they're pretty chill. You might end up with like one of like those fun ones with like a tennis court and like a pool and shit like that. It's basically like a concentration camp. It's gonna have a pool, a tennis court, shit like that. Shit like that. If you don't know, I was referencing like Holocaust denial conspiracy theories with that. But you might end up in a federal prison eh, for 1 year, which that's just kind of a vacation. That's kind of a fun vacation. You can probably, most people aren't going to be too upset if you apply for a job with that. The job market, I think it's bad. I don't know, but I do think the job market's bad right now. So I I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I did think it would be funny if you had like a gangbang line of dudes. Like a gangbang line of dudes wearing like Halloween masks and shit, just each like give me $100, or give me like $99. Just have like a gangbang line of guys each taking $99, and then you tax it at like 50%. Is that what the government is? I don't know. I don't know enough about how the government works, but I think that might be what the government is. Just having a gangbang line of dudes, each make $100, and then you take 50 from them. So that could be a solid plan you got working out there. Just hire a bunch of like crackheads or whatever that are like, dude, I'll fucking enjoy jail. Jail sounds like a fun time. Most of my friends are there anyway. I think I'll do that. So that could be like a nice fun little, if you want like a gimmicky plan, be like, hey, I didn't steal any. These guys each gave me $50. They're going to jail for it. Hey, no big deal. No, it's like a timeshare thing. It's like that's how you have to propose it to these crackheads that are standing in this gangbang line, each taking $100. It's like a timeshare. It's like you get to spend a year in a far away, you get to go on a vacation for a whole year. No work. You don't have to make any money. All your friends are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. That's how you have to sell it to these guys. Rent like a conference room in a shitty hotel somewhere and sell it to these crackheads. All the crack you can have. Crack is cheap anyway. I'll give you all the crack I have. So that could be a solid plan. An armed robbery, though, carries a maximum sentence of 25 years. Even if the weapon is fake, it's still 25 years. So even if you do that thing that they do in like old movies or whatever, where they like use like their finger as a gun and then they like put it under their shirt and they're like, give me all the money, see? All the cash you have now. I got a dame to support. Give me all your money. Like if you do that type of thing, or if you go in there with like a baby, even a water gun, you're still getting 25 years. And this was a thing that one of the gangs I was looking up, they used this tactic kind of. They would have like fake bombs that they would use. So they'd be like, all right, give me all your money. And then they'd put a fake bomb in the bank and they'd be like, fucking, if you keep chasing us, we're gonna set this bomb off. And they were pretty successful, but they did all get caught though, and it was a white supremacist gang, and they were just robbing banks, which is just so funny to me, to be like a white supremacist like like criminal gang, to be like those blacks, those poor black people always committing crime, killing people, robbing people. They're making society collapse. And then you turn around and do the exact same thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. But they did do that, and they were pretty successful. And one of the guys that was in the gang, he got arrested he was involved in the Oklahoma City bombing, which I'm not going to get too into that, but he was probably an FBI. He was probably an FBI operative at that point, or like an FBI asset. But even if the weapon is fake, you're still getting 25 years. And hostages are another 10 years. So don't take, and I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like every hostage you do take is another 10 years. I think maybe it's just like, if you take any, you're getting 10 years. So I think you might as well like get the whole, like, make everyone a hostage at that point, if that makes sense. Like if you're going to get 10 years for taking one hostage, you might as well take, everyone in the bank as a hostage. And so, and I don't know what they define as a hostage, because if you come in there with like a gun and you're like, everyone get on the ground, like those people are kind of hostages, right? Because you're implying in a way that you're going to shoot them if they leave. But if you get a real good lawyer, like if you get a real good, like a Jew, or like just a real fucking someone who's hungry, if you get a real good lawyer like that, like a Saul Goodman or whatever, they'll be like, he wasn't really taken high. He was like, you know what I mean? Like that's the argument they'd use. It's like, dude, he wasn't serious about that. That's the argument in court. He was just like, he's just kind of being like, he's repeating lines from movies and shit. Like, this guy's a fucking moron. Just give him the 25 years. He'll be out in a few. He'll be out in 20 or whatever. And I don't know how federal prison works. Because I know that in, like, state prisons and jails or whatever, if you get, a maximum sentence of 10 years, like, you can get out in 5 if you have, like, good behavior and all, or you can, like, parole out in 5. I don't know if that's how federal prisons work, but I wonder if, like, in federal prison, like, if you parole out or whatever, if you can, like, travel the whole country. Because it is, it's federal, right? And, like, federal means the whole country. And so I do think that, because if you get out on parole on, like, a state prison or whatever, like, you can't leave the state. Or, like, you have to have permission to leave the state. So you might be able to travel the country. You might be able to go to, like, Puerto Rico and shit like that. If you parole out of a federal prison. Don't fucking quote me on that, by the way. Some moron's gonna be like, I just got out because I tried to rob the Midwest Trust down in Oklahoma or whatever. Fuck it, it was federal prison. I guess I can go to Puerto Rico. Don't fucking quote me on that. Although I am a lawyer, like I was saying earlier. I'm cross-examining everything. I'm looking at information, shit like that, building the case. So no hostages, that's a no-no. And then unarmed robbery carries a maximum sentence of 10 years. So if you just go in there, so that's like your standard, like pass a note under there, get your 4,200 and dip. That's 10 years. So I wouldn't exactly say it's worth it. But also, if you're going to do it more than once. You know what I mean? Because they'll stack the sentences on top of each other. They'll be like 10 years for this, 10 years for that, 10 years for this, 10 years for that. And you're thinking, oh, that's going to be 40 years or whatever. No, you're going to serve it all concurrently. So if you're going to do one, do more than one. You might get a few extra years for that, you know what I mean? But I think it's worth it. I think if you're going to do it, go balls to the walls. And that's what we did in our case. And then bank robbery, like I said, is a federal crime. So you're going to end up in a federal prison. And then I got a little bit of preparation, like shit about how bank robberies work, the most successful kinds, how the bank vaults work, shit like that. But gangs of over 3 perform the highest yielding bank robberies. But like I said, the shit about that is you got to deal with a lot of people. That's where your managerial skills come into play and your delegation skills, being like, all right, you got to give these fuckers real clear instructions. Because like I said, these aren't the smartest people in our society, There's no Einsteins robbing banks and shit. If there was, they'd never get caught. Like the people that get caught for robbing banks, I think I do have like an article about the highest yielding bank robberies of all time. Literally every single one of them they were just so fucking stupid. They were just so dumb about it that they got caught. Or they just hit like a gigantic target and got caught. But they do have the highest yielding robberies. And the highest yielding heists of all time often includes diamonds as well as cash. And not just diamonds, like any valuable, like precious thing like that. And a lot of people will use like safe deposit boxes to keep shit like that in there. You might get like a house deed or whatever, which is kind of fucking useless. It's like if you rob a bank, that is how like some of these people get caught. They'll like rob a bank. I'm just kind of making this up, but like rob a bank and they'll get like a house deed from it, and they'll like pull up to the person's house and be like, "This is my house now." They'll be like, "Where the fuck did you get that from?" And it's like, "Don't worry, it's my house now." Like that's like the level of stupid shit that they're on with this. But if you do find a few diamonds, a little bit of gold or whatever, and this is another thing, is that you have to do a lot of planning. You have to like understand the bank inside and out, understand how it operates, understand where the money is, all that shit, where the diamonds could be at. And so a lot of them do have diamonds. And one of the highest yielding robberies of all time was from a hotel. I guess hotels just keep a lot of diamonds in there or something, because these guys got away with, what was it? It was like 27 million, and I don't know how many, $1 million in jewelry and cash. So they got like $1 million from jewelry and shit, which, not bad, but I don't know why a hotel has $1 million in jewelry in there. The fuck are they planning? Are they doing like an arms deal with like some Albanian guy? Why did they have $1 million in diamonds there? But I guess they had $1 million. So that's another thing you can look for. And the good thing about all those is that they're not traceable, right? Like you can just go to pawn shops and like slowly sell it off and just get cash for it. And if you have like the bill of sale, or the bill of purchase, I don't know. But if you have like the receipt from being like, I gave this guy a diamond and he gave me, $10,000 or whatever, and you have that, then like the federal government it's going to be kind of hard for them to do something to you. So you want to keep it low key afterwards, right? That's another important point. You don't want to go out balling, buying sneakers and chains and shit. That did sound racist. That did sound very racist. Don't go out buying fucking designer do-rags and shit like that, all right? I'm not racist. I'm just saying don't buy fucking designer do-rags with your bank robbery. No, but, like, just keep it low-key, just chill out a little bit, you know? And that wasn't racist because most of these bank robbers are white people or like these high yielding fucking morons that got caught. Even though I was looking at the crime statistics, it is kind of neck and neck though. It would be surprised. I think there might be more whites than blacks robbing banks and shit. It is kind of neck and neck though. It's a competitive field like that. There is a lot of DEI coming into play, A lot of Asians now are robbing banks due to DEI. The federal government's like, we got to get these statistics up. We got to have more Asians robbing banks. Where's the Asian hijabi polyamorous women robbing banks? We need that. And so it is a kind of competitive market between the whites and the blacks. So if you're filling out your intake form at the federal prison, put like Native American or Asian on there or something, even out the statistics a little bit. But like, yeah, you're getting robbed or you're going to jail. Either way, it is a competitive field. But cash trucks are also some of the most successful robberies due to them not having like the same protections as a bank. And a lot of these cash truck robberies, they'll also pull up to like where the cash itself comes from. Like they'll time it perfectly and be like, all right, this is the maximum amount of cash that this place has. We'll go in there. And a lot of these are also like inside jobs, like these cash truck cash truck robberies. A lot of them armored truck. Armored truck does sound sick, so I think I'll say armored truck because that's like some war right there. That's like some All Quiet on the Western Front, some fucking sick ass like Mad Max Fury Road. Like you're pulling up on side of the cash truck and like hopping off, but like that's not these type of robberies. These guys are pulling up to the actual facility itself and robbing that facility, and a lot of them are inside jobs. And I think one of the highest yielding ones of all time, they made a movie about it. It has Zach Galifianakis and Kristen Wiig, and and I think it's based off of this. And this is what I mean when we're talking about morons, because Zach Galifianakis, as good of an actor as he is, as funny as he is, he's never played a character with an IQ of over 80, just above retarded. That's where all like his characters are. And so, that might give you an insight. And this is like based on a true story, and I think it's on here. But this guy, he was like a manager, like a security guard at a cash truck place, an armored truck place, sorry. I didn't mean to misgender them, dead name him. But he was like a manager there, and he just like, he opened up the vault and just like took all the fucking money out of it and got caught immediately. So it's one of the highest yielding robberies of all time, but he was so stupid he got caught immediately. And so that is another way to go. And if you're going to pull up on a cash truck, that's not, maybe pull up like when it's delivering the cash to the bank. I think that's what they do in Baby Driver. Like that is a solid plan that can work out. But like if you're just pulling up trying to hit like a Georgia State Patrol like fucking pit maneuver on it, if you've been watching too many Russian car crash videos and you're like, I'm gonna try that on a cash truck, don't, because those motherfuckers have like AR, they'll gun you the fuck, they don't care, they'll kill you execution styles. And another one of the things about cash trucks is sorry, one guy is supposed to stay in the car at all times. So even if it's like getting delivered, like he can just start that engine and fucking pull off on you. That's what they're supposed to do. I don't know if they always do it. Like if you see a guy get shot, you're probably gonna hop out and be like, "Yo, that guy just got fucking shot." Your first instinct isn't gonna be to like, let's start up this diesel engine. It's winter right now. It's probably gonna take a minute just to ring. You're not gonna be doing that. You're gonna be hopping out of the car. But cash truck robberies at the place, and to me that doesn't really sound like a robbery to me, to just like work at a place and then just steal. I'm talking like some real fucking, you know what I mean, the town pulling up with like ghost masks and AR-15s and shit. So I don't know, I guess that is, but it's not like forced or anything. It's not like he like walked in there one day and he was just like, while everyone else was working, he was like, yo guys, get the fuck on the ground, I'm stealing all the money from here. He just like, I feel like that's more of like an embezzlement type of thing. I think the government like rates that like kind of based on how smart you are. It's like this guy has a fucking MBA in accounting from Yale or whatever. Like that's embezzlement. But just some moron stealing a bunch of money from a bank, that's not, or from the place he works at, that's not embezzlement. That's robbery. So I don't know exactly how that works, because it's not like forced or anything. Like he knows how to open the vault. He just like whipped that shit open and took some shit from it. So I don't know if that's, I don't fucking know how it works. But the timing is everything in a bank robbery. You really got to get, because a thing you kind of have to assume is that the police are on the way, right? It's like you just have to assume that in a bank robbery. So you have to do it quick. You have to know when the bank vault's going to be open, Maybe when like shift changes are happening, shit like that. Timing is everything here. You want to be in and out of there. And I think the average bank robbery, I looked it up, it was like under 5 minutes or whatever. But they're also including the people who just like pass a note or just like give me money. Like they're counting those people in there. So it might be a little higher for like what I would deem like an actual robbery. You know what I mean? It might be like, it's still pretty short though. Probably under 7 minutes if I if I had to take a wild guess. I'd say under 7 minutes still. But the highest yielding bank robberies took months of preparation. Like the highest yielding one of all time was like the California United California bank robbery, $30 million. These guys rented a townhouse across the street from the bank, and they also got an inside tip from someone, I guess, at the bank that like Richard Nixon, or wait, no, not Richard Nixon. I think it was Ronald Reagan, kept like a fuck ton of money there. And so they knew, but it took them months of preparation, and they like actually lived in this townhouse for a while before they got in the bank and got active. I think it was like months that they were there, like watching it, planning it out. And they did get 30 mil from it, but they all got caught. They all got caught. And so yeah, you're gonna need some time for preparation if you're trying to get more than like 4,200. And understanding security systems is key to gaining access to the money and not getting caught. And like, so that's what I was talking about, like making sure the bank vault is like open on time, making sure that you can like get behind the counter, like shit like that, making sure it's just not like an impenetrable wall that you can't get past, and like knowing when it opens, how to open it, shit like that. And also like knowing, because like I was saying, a lot of the vaults have timers on them, so you can't just be like, open that vault for me. It's like, dude, that's that's literally, he's just gonna shrug his shoulders at you. And it is gonna be he that's open. I'm not having no fucking woman open that vault for me. Just like, fucking, which way does it go again? Left or right? And that is very funny that I'm being like, fucking bitches don't know how to use combination. I don't know how to use a combination lock. I didn't use my locker at all in high school. I have like a mailbox at my college that I still don't know how to use because I don't know how combination locks work. So it is just me being like, fucking bitches are so dumb, dude. How do you not understand a combination lock? And it's, I don't understand. Wait, I go left and then I go right. But you're gonna want to get like an older, like probably a white guy too. You're gonna be wanting to get old, you know. It's just like, it's like the janitor or whatever. Like the manager of the bank is like a black woman, and you're like, is there a fucking white guy, like an old white guy in here that could open? I don't. Some black chick just slamming on the vault, motherfucker. Shit, it normally works. I don't fucking know, you know. So you want to get like an old white guy to open up that vault for you. And also the not getting caught part is, a lot of these banks, I guess they still have like CCTV, which is, if you don't know, it's closed circuit TV. And so the cameras record and then they put it directly on a hard drive. And I guess some of those hard drives are backed up or whatever, but like a lot of them are just still, it's just a hard drive. And I'm sure there's like some kind of like backup hard drive somewhere. So, but if you're doing like a low level bank robbery, you're not dealing with all that. But that is important. And it's also like, I don't fuck, they probably have like some crazy like eye scanner or something that's just like blue eyes. This is an Aryan robber. This robber is an Aryan. We're never gonna catch it. shit like that. I don't know, but they do have some crazy security systems on there. In most modern bank vaults, like I said, they have time locks, but they also have automatic relockers, which means if like a robbery is detected, like someone can just press a button and like the bank or like the vault just automatically locks, and there's no way to open it. So that's another thing that they'll have, which that just seems like that just seems like a bad game plan. That just seems like one of those things where it's like, if you told like a psychopath there that was like really like a junked up meth head being like, give me all your fucking money, like one of those guys, if you told him that, he'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna kill everyone. Like I'm high on meth right now. You guys already all look like demons anyway. I'm not gonna get any money out of this, so I think I'll just kill everyone. Like that just seems like what would happen if the bank or if the vault automatically locked. And yeah, modern security cameras usually have an automatic like backup to cloud storage. I don't know if that's true either. I just assumed that was true because it make like all those fucking security cameras that you hear about, like on the Joe Rogan or whatever when he does those ads. Like I don't know what it's called. those weird security camera brands, like all of those are like 20 fucking bucks, and they already all automatically have like some backup cloud storage. And like the really high level banks, I'm assuming they have both. Like just in case the internet stops working, it's like, dude, we have 80, we got more hard drives than a fucking pedophile right here, dude. Like you're not getting away with this, or you're not destroying like the camera footage off of this. And so that's another important part of this. And then yeah, hostages can be used as collateral for money and a safe escape. And like I was saying earlier with those guys who'd like put the fake bombs in the bank and they were like, we'll kill everyone here if you keep chasing us, that's part of it. And then it's also like, put a gun to a guy's head and be like, open the fucking vault and give me all the money, right? Like that's another thing that you can use hostages for. And like I said, they'll probably give you some hostage bullshit anyway. They'll put that on you anyway, so you might as well take a cut. You might as well have a little fun while you're there. So that's my argument for taking hostages in a bank robbery. And the more you take, the more you're gonna be pursued. And like I said, don't get greedy. That's how these fuckers get caught. Like the California National Trust, I don't fucking remember what it was called, but those guys, the reason they got caught is they immediately turned around and tried to rob another bank. So don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Just take your fucking money, lay low for a while. At least you probably don't want to like leave the area for a couple of weeks, just because if you do, then they'll like track you back to your fucking house or whatever, and then everyone's completely fucked. So you might want to stay there for like a couple of weeks, just lay low a little bit. If you get caught, you get caught. Hey, that's the name of the game. If you don't get caught, drive home to fucking Columbus or wherever you live. So don't get greedy. But the more you take, obviously, it's gonna be like they're gonna come the fuck after you. And so now I have my plan, my little game plan that I cooked up. I was rubbing my hands together. Ooh, how would I do it? How would I do it, dude? So we are going to be robbing the Gillis Trust Bank. Here's the thing about this. While I was doing research for this, I was like, maybe I should use like a real bank as an example to get like a really good idea of how this could happen. But then I was like, if I did all this research into bank robberies and like the federal sentencing for bank robberies and shit like that, and then I was like, what does the security system look like at Capital Federal Bank in in fucking Kansas City, Kansas? What is the security system like there? Does the the Capital Federal Bank in Kansas City, Kansas have automatic relockers on the vault? Like, I feel like if I was looking up that, then that might have been what got me. And so we're going to be robbing the Gillis Trust Bank. The bank is located in the downtown of a Florida city with about 300,000 people. So, like, I'm thinking like a shitty, like an Orlando or like a Tampa or like, not a Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a little, but Jacksonville in spirit is like the same as Orlando and fucking Tampa. So it's like one of those types. It's like just some real shitty, like it's built on a swamp or whatever. It's like Mexico City, like it's built completely on top of like vital swampland for like the drainage of the Atlantic Ocean or whatever. Like it's built on one of those places. So it's like some shitty, I'm describing like an Orlando type, you know what I mean? Or like a Cleveland, maybe some shit like that, where it's like there's kind of a downtown that they're like trying to revitalize, but not really. And that's what we're going to be robbing. And so across from the street from the bank, there's apartments with a clear view of the inside. Right, so it's like some shitty apartment buildings that like some fucking developer, some BlackRock type developer was like bought up all these like cheap shitty warehouses and turned them into apartments for like struggling millennials and like fucking whoever can afford them, right? Like that's what we're dealing with, like extremely poorly built apartments that were built very quickly to look aesthetically pleasing. That's what that's what we're dealing with when we're robbing Gillis Trust Bank. And so we have a clear view of the inside from the apartment. And what you're going to want to do with the apartment, you're going to try to want to get it under like a fake name or something. And I've never rented an apartment before, so I don't know if they need your social security number, but if all they need is like an ID and like some pay stubs or whatever, you can cook that up real quick. You can like cook up some fake shit real quick, get like a fake ID, pretend, just have like a full beard and a receding hairline and go to like one of those guys that makes fake IDs for high schoolers and be like, I need a fake ID. And the guy's like, why? Why do you need a fake ID? Cause I want to buy beer. So just do that, I guess. And that is what you need to do. Because if you have this apartment and then you just completely abandon it, they're gonna fucking know something's up, right? Like I think that's how one of these guys got caught. And so we learn. We're watching from across the bank. We have the binoculars. Every once in a while with the binoculars, we go over and we look at like that kind of hot like MILF, that single mom that lives in the apartments that are like across the street, but like kind of to the left a little bit. And we're like looking at that, every once in a while too. But we're also looking inside the bank being like, what's going on in there? Looking at this beautiful fucking those beautiful sluts behind the counter in their fucking tight pencil skirts and their in their white collared shirts, just looking at him playing and plotting on him, be like, oh, I'm getting that one, I want that, I want that one. And so that's what we're doing. We're watching. We have the binoculars out. We have like the sighting goggles out, being like, oh, what's going on? What are they cooking up over there? Huh? What's going on behind that counter? That's what we're doing. And we learn that the bank has a time lock, but no automatic relockers. So it has a time lock on it, so it can only be opened at certain times, but there's no automatic relockers on it. So we're going to be able to get access to the vault itself. We're not going to just be grabbing like $20 bills out of the teller's like drawers or whatever. So we're going to be able to get into the vault. We know that for a fact, but we have to time it right because it's a time lock, obviously. The bank has 2 armed security guards like just inside the entrance. And these are, it's like some 22-year-old black kid whose mom was like, "You need to get a fucking job." So that's one of them, and the other one is like a 50-year-old pot-bellied white guy whose wife was like, bitches at him so much that he just has like 8 jobs, so he never has to be around her. So those are the 2 security guards we're dealing with. These aren't high-level guys. They do have guns, though. Like I said, they're armed security guards. They do both have, just little pistols on them, no bulletproof vests, just like just Paul Blart with a gun. That's basically what we're dealing with. And the black kid's always like going on his break and like texting girls on Tinder and shit. We do catfish him a little, but that's just for fun. That's just, we just wanted to see if we could just like trick him into going like to a 7-Eleven for a rim job or whatever. And we did also like use like a 17-year-old girl to do it one time. And so we were like, yeah, this guy's a fucking moron. We're going to be able to have some fun with him. And like when we robbed the bank, we like say the girl's name. And I was like, I know you were trying to get a rim job from a 17-year-old. You sick fuck. But it's like, you're not too sick because she is 17. She is a college freshman type of 17. But like, still, dude, you're 22 years old. You're a big boy with a job. You can't be fucking 7. Like, that's what we did to the black guy. And then to the white guy, we tried to do the same thing, and he has Tinder, but he mostly just has it to, like, vent about his bitch of a wife. He mostly has it just to be like, you're so beautiful, you're so much more beautiful than my wife. I fucking hate my wife so much. And we, like, talk to him a little bit, and we just kind of, like, discover the sad reality of his life. And so those are the 2 security guards. And so they're just inside the entrance. They're not, like, an office or anything. They're not behind a locked door. They're just right in the entrance there. And the rear has an employee entrance, but it does require a key card to get in. And this is where you kind of get into some advanced shit where some nerd would be like, I'd use an RFID reader to make a copy of the key using a blank hotel key, and then I'd break in, and then I'd leave the hotel key there. So they think I'm staying in this hotel, but I'm actually, we're not doing all that. It does require a key card that you got to, scan to get in. It's just a back entrance. The interior has cameras which are automatically backed up, but the exterior, right, like the outside of it, there's one on the back entrance, and then there's 2 on the front entrance. One is like kind of pointing towards the entrance, and one is pointing towards the street. And the ones on the outside, those are just CCTV. So they'll catch you walking in, and they'll catch you walking out. But if you destroy them, then there's no walking in or walking out. They're not going to get any, like, they're not going to be able to read the fucking license plate or whatever. And so those are on the outside, but the inside, they're automatically backed up. Unless we got a fucking hacker or something, there's nothing we can do. And in terms of alarms or whatever, there is a few alarms, but those are mostly for, like, break-ins, right? Like when the bank is closed and someone tries to break in, that's what the alarms are for. So we don't really have to worry about those too much. The hard drives for the CCTV are kept in the security office, right, quote unquote. It's just like some shitty little, it's just like a desk that's kind of in the corner that like one of the security guards will like occasionally go over to like log into his email to see if like the job applications for other jobs he's applied for have like, if he's received them or not, even though they haven't. He knows he's not been accepted for even an interview at any of these jobs. He knows he's going to be stuck at the shithole for the rest of his fucking life. And so that's where the fucking hard drives are. They're like under the computer, the CCTV hard drives, which are the ones for the outside. And it does require a key to get in, right? So it's just like some shitty little, they just kind of put up, it's basically just like a plywood wall. You could break it down in theory, but the easiest way to get in is through the locks. And each of the guards has a key to the room, right? So both of them have a key. They have like a big old ring of it. It's like, why do you have so many fucking keys on this shit? There's only 3 rooms in this entire building. Why the fuck do you have 80 keys? But they do. One of them is the key, and we know what it looks like. It has one of like those rubber things where it has like a black, like at the end of the key, or not at the end, like the part of the key that connects to the loop, there's like a black rubber thing on that. So we know that's the key to the security room. The bank has no regular cash deliveries, right? It's like just randomly a cash truck will show up, give them like $1 million or whatever, and then they'll dip. So there's no regular cash deliveries. So there's kind of no point in like hitting one of the trucks. You'd have to have some kind of like insider knowledge, or just like kind of like sit and wait for a truck to come up and then you hit it. So there's no point in robbing the trucks. But the vault is open regularly at 8:13 a.m., 11:27 a.m., 3:54 p.m., and 6 p.m. So I kind of made up all this. I don't know if this is how banks work at all. And this is the good thing about like me not doing that much research into it, because it's like the FBI is gonna watch this and just be like, this moron has no idea how banks work. He doesn't have a single fucking clue about how banks work. And so it opens at 8:13 a.m., 11:27 a.m., 3:54 p.m., and 6 p.m. And this is going to be kind of a Dora moment. When do you think we should rob the bank? What time do you think we should rob the bank? I got a pretty good idea of when it should happen. So execution. We will first scrub every inch of the apartment clean and burn all the clothing and furniture, right? A loss is a fucking loss. That's just a business expense. You got to get rid of that shit. When I say every inch, I mean every inch. Like those guys that robbed the California bank that I was talking about, biggest bank robbery of all time, most money of all time. The reason at least one of them got caught was from fingerprints that were inside the dishwasher, right? Like he was like taking out the dishes and he like accidentally bumped one side, and he's probably pissed off as hell anyway. He's like, gotta take out these fucking dishes. I'm the only one that does the dishes in here. There's these fucking dirtbags just sitting by the fucking window watching the bank eating Doritos and shit. It smells like feet in here all the time. You can take a fucking shower, dude. I can take a shift and watch the bank, but no. You have to watch the bank all the fucking time and smell like shit and Doritos. And so this guy was unloading the thing and he like touched the side of the dishwasher and he got caught. So when I say every inch, I mean every inch. I'm gonna be standing in the middle like a fucking, like an old timey school teacher with a ruler, being like, "Ah, you missed the inside of the dishwasher. What you do?" Hit him with a ruler real quick. Hit him with a yardstick. Thwack him with. So we gotta scrap it, every single inch of it, and like the furniture and the clothing and all that shit. Just burn it. Fuck. Pour some bleach on it first, let that dry out, and then we fucking burn it. We got to make sure 100% they can't get any DNA from inside the apartment. And we're scrubbing the ceilings too, because sometimes when you have an extra powerful nut, a little bit might like touch the ceiling, graze it a little bit. Sir, we called in the nut forensics officer, and he found dried nut on the ceiling. We got him, sir. And they always forget about the Bellagio nuts, those big fountain nuts. They always forget about them. We got him, boys. So we got to scrub literally every single inch of the apartment. Rip up the fucking carpet too. Fuck it. They already know we were here, so rip up the carpet too. Burn that as well. And so we will have 3 men armed with handguns enter the bank and 1 getaway driver. And so what the getaway driver is going to do, so we got this planned out to a T. We know exactly how long it's going to take. Even if we don't get the amount of money as we want, even if we have to leave a little bit on the table, we know the exact time we have to get in and out. And so we're just going to have the guy drop us off. He's going to circle the block, right, so he doesn't get caught up in anything, and then he's going to come back around. There is a second escape plan to, like, use the back entrance, like, if shit comes to fuck, right? Like, if the cops immediately pull up in front of the bank, we're going to use the back entrance to get out. But our game plan is to leave through the front entrance, and this guy's driving, like, an old, shitty, like, we got this thing from a chop shop. Like, we had to fix it up a little bit. The transmission's slipping a little bit. It isn't automatic, so we don't have to worry about shifting or anything like that. But we're not going to be doing any baby driver tricks with this thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a great car. And so we're gonna have that guy like circle the thing while 3 guys go in with handguns, right? And the handguns obviously for concealment. So they walk in, and everyone will be dressed in all black with generic Halloween masks and 2 glove layers. And this is to prevent fingerprints or like sweat or like anything, right? And the reason I have 2 glove layers is because if the rubber gloves break, then you're fucked. So we're gonna have rubber gloves, and then on top of that, we're gonna have cloth gloves. And that's, I've worked with those before. I built barns and shit like that with those. And so I know you can grab whatever you need to grab with those things. Fuck it. Maybe you want to like show a chick how like big, and while we're robbing the bank, you think one of the tellers is cute, and so you take off your glove and you're like, my hands are bigger than yours. Ooh, look how big my hands are. Can I get your phone number? Do you have Snapchat? Yeah, I always have my Snap Map location on. Yeah, do you want to take my for sure, dude? Yeah, and then you get caught because you were trying to compare hand sizes and get Snapchat from a fucking bank teller. You fucking idiot! This is all your fault. We're all going to fucking federal prison now because you were too horny. So maybe that's another step we take is the night before you jack off, right? You save up your nut for like a week and then you jack off. And so you're empty, but you still have a little bit of testosterone, a little bit of that in you. So when you rob the bank, you're up, you're excited, but you're not too horny to the point where you're like comparing hand sizes with the bank tellers. I'll add that in there. I'll add that extra step in there. We're going to jack off the night before. And I'm going to make sure, I'm going to test. And everyone's going to jack off into a sock, right? So we can quickly burn that, get rid of it. And so that's what we're going to be doing when we rob this bank. And we're going to be dressed head to toe, right? No skin showing or anything. No, don't give them any clues. From their voices, our voices, they'll be able to tell. They'll be, when I come in, I'm like, yo, dude, fucking empty out that vault, dude. No fucking, you know what I mean, dude? Dude, you're fucking pissing me off right now, bro. You're pissing me off, okay? Open that fucking vault, dude. You know, from that, they're going to have a pretty decent idea of who we are, you know? But maybe we get like a wigger in there to be like, hey, man, like a good one, dude. Like what's that guy, 1900 Rugrat? We get that guy in there to be like, hey, man, fucking open up that vault, cool. But even that, they might be able to tell. They're gonna be like, this guy's from fucking suburban San Francisco. Like, no black guy thought, what even is this? They're trying to trick us, but we know. Just have a black guy there. Like, one of the bank tellers is a black guy, and then we have our wigger come up and be like, hey, man, open up that fucking vault, you know what I'm saying? He drops like some 90s Lego on them. This is you jive, turkey, open up that vault. Some shit like that. We immediately the black guy's like, yo, what the fuck? But anyway. So, the time I chose to rob the bank was for the 8:13 a.m. opening of the vault, you know? So we're going to enter the bank at 8:10, 11 a.m. So at 8:10, 11. Like I said, I'm sick. But 8:10 a.m. So that's when we get the guy to drop us off and we enter the vault, or enter the bank. So 2 of the robbers will subdue and handcuff the guards while the other bike locks the entrance. So he's going to throw a nice little bike lock on there. We got to hope that there's not like a crackhead or like a fentanyl addict in there, because those guys they're aces at cracking bike locks. You know, they know how to perfectly karate chop to get that thing open. But we're just going to hit the classic, you know, everyone get on the fucking ground real quick. Just, you know, don't get too aggressive with it. Because you don't be, but I guess we're taking the security guards hostage, kind of. So fuck it. Take everyone hostage. See, that's why you need that preparation to be like, look, we're already taking the security guards hostage. We might as well take the rest of these people hostage. So you're like, yo, get on the fucking ground. And we're already locking the entrance for everyone to get out. So even if we don't tell them to get on the ground, I'm sure they're technically hostages at this point. So you hit everyone, get on the fucking ground. We don't have time to handcuff everyone, you know. And that's another important thing in bank robbery is that you have to like weigh your options, right? If you want to handcuff everyone and you want that type of security, you're going to have extra time, right? So we're not going to handcuff everyone. We're just going to have the guards, and we're not even going to handcuff them. We're just going to, you know, put the zip ties on them. And I will say that the Potbelly security guard at this point, he's so sexually, you know, destroyed from watching porn and shit like that he might get a hard on from us, you know. But we're all white guys, you know. There's no black guys that are gonna be like, hey, yo, what the fuck? You know, I think the security guard, the black young kid, he's gonna be like, hey, yo, what the fuck? You getting hard from this shit? Yeah, you freak ass boy. Freaky ass motherfucker getting hard from getting all tied up and shit. You like that shit, huh? Freak ass boy. Turn me around. I don't wanna sit here and look at this motherfucker. So that's what that guy's gonna say. But he is gonna get a little bit hard and he might go, oh, you know, when we, you know, get him extra tight on that guy, he might, yeah. Tie me up. He might say that a little bit. We're gonna shut the fuck up, man. We'll have the young black kid berate him for us, right? This is another thing you got to use. Use the people in the building to your advantage, right? So have him be like, yo, shut the fuck up, and they're arguing back and forth. It's like, you don't fucking know what it's like to be married for 30 years and not have fucking sex. Do you know what I have to watch to come now, huh? Do you know what I have to fucking watch to come? I'm on websites you never even heard of, son. Fuck you. Kids, man, just go out and get some pussy. I see you on Tinder all the time talking to these motherfuckers. I saw you on Tinder too, huh? 17, you like 17? She was a freshman in college, man. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, you like that. No, 17-year-old, that's too young anyway. That's what I watch, but fucking, you know, you're berating me for that. So these two are going to be arguing back and forth while we fucking rob the place. We take their keys and so we can get to the security room and destroy the fucking tapes. And so one robber will destroy the CCTV hard drives while the other two approach the counter. And they're just going to do some like classic, like some badass bad badass the town shit, hop over, be like, open up the fucking vault now, bitch. Listen to me. And then I'll be like the cool, like kind of like soft spoken guy that's like, hey girl, don't worry about him. He's just he's out of his mind a little bit. He just lost his mother. He just lost his mom. Yeah, so it's a little bit tough on. I've been comforting, and he didn't really have time to take care of his mom while he was in prison, so I had to take care of her. I'm like a soft guy like that. Like I'm a really caring individual. So I'll be talking to her, saying all this, being like, I just love people. Every person on earth, I love them all, and I'm not a violent guy. I have this. I don't even know how to shoot it, and then I like hold up the gun like awkwardly and be like, I couldn't even shoot someone if I wanted to. Like I just don't have it in me like that, But I'm a soft, but I can get angry. Not angry, but I can, when especially with women, when I really need to defend a woman, I can really get that. It can really invigorate me. So I'm gonna be talking. I'm gonna be talking to one of the tellers while I'm doing this. I've been watching her for months with binoculars. I know she just broke up with her boyfriend, so I know she's a little bit vulnerable right now. But I'm kind of looking for a hookup. But like, if I could get a solid relationship out of the hookup, like that's also what I'm looking for. And so I'm gonna be talking to her like, and you know what? We're not gonna take you. We're not gonna get you in that car unless you want to get in the car with me. Do you want to get in the car? I think you want to get in the car with me. All right, you can come in the car. So that's what I'm gonna be doing over there. But eventually, one will put the tellers in the front with the customers, right? And I think that'll be me. I'll guide the girl by the small of her back, be like, come with me, baby girl, come with me, Let's go out front. Let's go talk to these folks. Because I enjoy doing that as well. I like talking to people and getting their insight into things because I know I don't know everything. And I'm just going to say it right off the rip. I respect a woman's right to do what she wants with her body. Hey, her body, her choice, And I put my fist up in there. Her body, her choice. All power to them. And so I guide her out to the front while I'm saying all this. And the other guy is getting the manager and being like, all right, let's open up this fucking vault. And he's going to, at this point, we have to assume it's been at least 2 minutes. So I'm going to say it's like 8:12 a.m., right? And so he's going to wait with him until 8:13 a.m. to get that vault open. And once the vault is open, one robber will stay back while the other two ransack the vault. Remember, we have 3 gunmen in at this point. 2 of them are kind of in like the lobby, the front area, and then or one of them at this point is in the lobby, the front area, and the other 2 are inside the vault ransacking it. Inside the vault, one robber will have the manager put loose cash in bags while the other ransacks the safe deposit boxes. And the reason we're going to have the manager putting loose cash in the bags is because we're going to have him be like opening up some of those bills, right? Some of those stacks of bills, like the $10,000 ones, those types of bills. We're going to have him like in a corner, like ripping those open and putting the cash into these bags. And the reason we're going to be having him do that is so if there is like a die pack or anything in there, then it gets on him and not us. I was just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of a smart guy like that. Like that's just a little something I cooked up. So we're going to have him be doing that, and we're probably going to be yelling at him a little bit, being like, and I'm going to make sure that the female bank teller is watching this while I'm doing this guy. I'm going to be like, you patriarchal motherfucker. I've been watching this shit for months. I know you don't let them take extra breaks when they're on their periods. It's like, you know what I'm going to do with this money? I'm going to cure periods. No periods for anyone anymore. And I'm not going to put it all on the onus of the woman. I'm going to make dudes inject some shit into their dick and then fuck women so that they don't get periods anymore, because that's just the type of fucking guy I am. And I'm going to be yelling at this guy as he's opening up these, big-ass racks and putting them in these bags. And so we're only going to be wanting to do this for about 2 minutes. So we got to, snapping isn't showing up on the fucking recording for some reason, but we're going to be wanting to do that. So inside the vault, yeah, like I said, and the other one's going to be ransacking the safety deposit boxes, being like, can we get looking for jewels or whatever they can. At this point, we don't really know what's in any of them, so that's just like an extra precaution we're taking. We already have dudes ripping open the bills, and any loose cash that's already just like laying around there, we're going to be taking that and putting it into the bags ourselves as well. Like, we're going to have our own bag. The manager's going to be in the corner ripping open like the stacks of cash and pouring them into his bag. And so, yeah, we'll be fucking like ripping these things open, putting them in there, ripping out security boxes, looking for jewels or whatever. Like if we see Stein or Wits or whatever on one of the safety deposit boxes, we're going to be ripping that shit open for sure, looking for diamonds, jewels, gold, shit like that. And so, all right. The 3 will then go outside to the getaway car, which will be driven to a nearby Family Dollar. All right, not the fucking Dollar General, not the Dollar Tree. We're going to a Family Dollar, a real trashy establishment. And so we're gonna switch our cars there. And so we will bleach one car, just pour it all over there. We're gonna change our clothes too once we get in the other car. So we're gonna bleach the fuck out of the one car just as because we don't have time to scrub everything down. We could blow it up, but then I think that's terrorism, and then we're going to jail for life for sure. So we're just gonna bleach the fuck out of that thing and then hop in the other whip. We will, and then we're just gonna drive away, go to a extended stay motel, and just lay low for a little bit, and then we'll go back to fucking wherever we live at. So I think that's my plan for robbing a bank. If you've ever robbed a bank before, leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think about robbing banks and shit. What was federal prison like? Because if you're confessing to rob, they're gonna lock you. But whatever, no one's listening at this point. If anyone was listening, but yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. I hope you have a good day, good week, good year, good life. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. And also, don't use this plan to rob a bank, please, for the love of God. All right, peace out.